Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Sci-Fi Movie Guy. This is weekly show number 32, and my name is Mike. So let's get started as we always do with Star Wars news. And our first story today is Rogue One, a Star Wars story, barely took the number one spot at the box office over the new release Hidden Figures. The first Star Wars story took in $21.97 million, with Hidden Figures almost taking it from the Disney and Lucasfilm juggernaut with $21.8 million at number two. This is a significant drop as compared to The Force Awakens, showing that the standalone movies did not appeal to the masses as much as the saga films did. What does this mean for the standalone films moving forward? Well, I can tell you what it means. It means that the standalone films are not appealing to the masses as much as the standalone films do. Now, they still got their 2, 3, 4, 5, in my case, visits from the big Star Wars fans, and this is by no means underperforming. This movie is doing exactly what Disney thought it was going to do. It's definitely viable. They can't do these trilogies on and on and on every year, and they want to release a Star Wars movie every year because Disney knows Star Wars fans will watch maybe 2 movies a year, is what I'm hoping, and that's why Han Solo is scheduled to be released in May of 2018, which I'm excited about. I hope they keep it there. I've said it before. I hope that we get another film in December, and they can rule May and December. Now, I am a little surprised that the first Star Wars standalone film had that big of a drop last week. I thought for sure it was going to do around 40 million in that week, but you know what? I'm wrong. I've been wrong. I will be wrong. But yeah, you know what? Rogue One's performing exactly as it should. So let's get into our second story, and that's all eyes are now on the next chapter in the Star Wars saga, Episode 8. We still don't have any concrete details or even a title, but thanks to USA Today, we do have some new details about the relationship we'll be seeing between Luke and Rey. Speaking with the outlet for their big 2017 preview, writer-director Rian Johnson confirmed the movie will indeed pick up right where The Force Awakens left off, while also offering up some new specifics about the relationship we'll see in the movie. Now, this is not new news as well. We had been told earlier through rumors and speculation, leaks, that the movie was Star Wars Episode 8 was going to pick up right where Star Wars The Force Awakens left off. And I'm really happy about this because I want to see that discussion. I don't want them to flash forward 6-8 weeks in the middle of Rey's training. I want to see how that develops. Now, I think right after the 5 or 7 minute scene between the two of them, we will get a flash forward. They'll probably, or to a new setting. We might see Han Solo's funeral. So there's lots of things that are going to happen, and there will be some sort of flash forward in Episode 8 because they have to get Rey trained, so therefore Luke and Rey can go on an adventure. There has to be a build-up of a story between Finn and Poe, some kind of a rebel resistance adventure. So Episode 8 is going to start exactly as I thought it was, and I am very excited to see this movie. So let's get into our third story in Star Wars news. In their continuing coverage of Episode 8 as part of the must-see movies of 2017, USA Today revealed even more comments from writer-director Rian Johnson about his upcoming sequel to The Force Awakens. First off, if you're looking for a darker middle chapter a la Empire Strikes Back, you won't find it with Episode 8. Johnson said he wants the film to be a blast and to be funny the way The Force Awakens and the original Star Wars movies were. And in regards to the character of Luke Skywalker, fans who wanted to see more from the Jedi Master will be in luck with this film. So this is also something that I'm happy about. Now, it's Rian Johnson, so we know this film is going to be darker than The Empire Strikes Back, but then The Force Awakens. We know that for sure, because that's Rian Johnson. But what he's telling us is, it's not going to be like one of my regular films. It's going to be a Star Wars film. It's going to have that Star Wars feel. And we had some good comedy relief in Empire Strikes Back as well, even though it was the darkest of the original trilogy. And my feeling is they brought in Rian Johnson for a reason, because they want this to be the darkest of the new trilogy. So am I okay with there still being some humor and some levity in Star Wars Episode 8? Absolutely. Do I think it's going to be darker than The Force Awakens? I do indeed. And let's get on to story number 4. Rian Johnson has revealed that he knows the title for Star Wars Episode 8 and has for some time. While the popular theory is Legacy of the Force, according to Collider Jedi Council, we probably won't find out until Star Wars Celebration in April what they are going to call Episode 8. And you know what? I don't care if it's, what did they say on Jedi Council? They said Legacy of the Force. And I'm okay with that title, but I want this title to be better than The Force Awakens. I wasn't exactly thrilled when I heard that title. I love Revenge of the Sith, that title. I love Empire Strikes Back. I like Return of the Jedi. So I want a really cool title that's going to, live on in the ages, because 25, 30 years down the road, nobody's going to remember what the first movie was in the prequels. What was it anyway? Oh yeah, Phantom Menace. Because it's not a very cool title, and it doesn't really reflect on what the movie is as far as I'm concerned. It should have been A New Beginning or something like that, like A New Hope, but anyway, or An Old Beginning, who knows. But I hope that we get this title sooner rather than later, so that I can have a news story about it and get a really cool logo, and I want to see what the title is. But I think we're waiting till April, till Star Wars Celebration. And our last story today in Star Wars news is Disney is in talks with Carrie Fisher's family to use her likeness in future movies. We are assuming this is a similar discussion as Disney had with Peter Cushing family to do the CGI version of Grand Moff Tarkin. Only time will tell if we will see Carrie Fisher's likeness as Princess Leia in Episode 9. So the reason I say Episode 9 is because all the filming is already done for Episode 8 and we know Leia's in it. It sounds like everything they're saying, and Disney and Lucasfilm could be trying to throw us off track with all of this. It wouldn't be the first time they've done something like this, and maybe Princess Leia dies in Episode 8, but I doubt it. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they had big plans for Leia and maybe Luke in Episode 9. Definitely now, though, if they were going to kill off Luke Skywalker in Episode 8, I think they'll do some kind of a reshoot. They'll make sure he doesn't die, because they're going to need him in Episode 9 to tie everything up. But I don't think either Luke or Leia were going to die in Episode 8. Now, there's a few trains of thought on having Carrie Fisher CGI in Episode 9. Sorry. A lot of people think they should recast Princess Leia with a different actress that looks similar to Carrie Fisher. A lot of people are saying, no, the CGI will be there by that time. I don't have an opinion on this, because I am not Lucasfilm or Disney. I just want the movie to be the best movie they can make. So if they decide they need CGI Princess Leia, if they decide they need a new actress because the role is so big to wrap up this story nicely, they need to recast it. Whatever is best for the story. I've heard a lot of people say, oh, if it's a CGI Leia, it's going to take me out because I'm going to be thinking about Carrie Fisher. No, I hope you won't, because they're going to make a movie for fans. And I know for a fact Carrie Fisher would not have a problem with them using a CGI version of her in the movie. I think she might find it happy. I think she'd be happy about it. Because she was a happy-go-lucky person. Yes, she had a different side sometimes because of her bipolar disease, but I don't think she'd have a problem with this, and I'm pretty sure the family won't have a problem with this. And whatever Lucasfilm and Disney decides, as long as it's the best Star Wars movie, I'm happy with that. So that's it for Star Wars news today. Please tell me in the comment section what you think. And now let's get into sci-fi news. So our first story in sci-fi news today is Warner Brothers has released a new Justice League image showing off Ben Affleck's Batman, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, Ray Fisher's Cyborg, Ezra Miller, The Flash, and Jason Momoa's Aquaman. The image comes via exclusive release from USA Today, which listed Justice League in their new must-see films of 2017, as earlier reported. The movie opens in theaters on November 17th. This picture, it's very cool, but I want to see another trailer. I'm waiting for the trailer. Yeah, this picture's cool, but it's not enough. Give us more. We want another trailer. We want to see more story. We want to see who the big bad villain is. We think we know. We're not 100% sure. So give us another trailer, please, Warner Brothers. And our second story in sci-fi news is as we prepare for 3 films coming out in 2017 inside the MCU, with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Spider-Man Homecoming, and Thor Ragnarok, fans are already looking ahead to the conclusion of the Infinity Stone plot with 2018's Avengers, Infinity War. The biggest question so far is who will be showing up to lend a hand against the big bad Thanos. And now we have confirmation, at least one, Gamora, played by Zoe Saldana. And am I surprised by this news? No, I am not. I knew that some of the Guardians of the Galaxy were going to show up. We know Doctor Strange is going to show up, and it's going to be one heck of a movie. But it's going to be a crowded movie. So what I'm thinking is a lot of these other characters are going to have very minor roles near the end of the film, coming in to beat the big bad guy. But it's going to be basically focused around the Avengers. Spider-Man will come in at the end. Probably a couple of the Guardians, maybe all of them. Who knows? But that's what I think is going to happen. So our next story is also with the Avengers Infinity War production beginning soon. It looks as though Marvel Studios won't be able to keep the cast of massive superhero sequels under wraps. Just as Zoe Saldana confirmed to MTV News she will reprise her role as Gamora, one other future Avenger also confirmed their involvement, Spider-Man. Star Tom Holland recently sat down with the Italian magazine L'Uomo Vogue via comicbook.com, where he confirmed his part in the movie, saying Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans gave their personal stamp of approval in his casting, saying he could handle 3 Spider-Man films, including Avengers Infinity War. We'll see for ourselves when it lands in theaters on May 4th, 2018. And you know what? I just said that a minute ago, that we know Spider-Man's going to be in the Avengers, and I'm cool with that. The more superheroes I get in a movie, the happier I'm going to be. And we know Marvel does superhero movies right. So, our next story, in an exclusive report from Variety, Game of Thrones' Peter Dinklage is in early talks for a key role in Marvel's Avengers Infinity War. Since the Infinity War is expected to shoot sometime in the early summer, the actor's schedule opened up since Game of Thrones moved from a summer to a fall shoot. It is unknown at this time what role Dinklage will play, or if it's based on an existing character from the comic books. And this, again, good news. They're bringing in great actors. Marvel knows how to do superhero movies, and they're going to do this one right. They are going to bring in the best talent, as they always do. And Peter Dinklage, one of my favorite actors, very excited to see this. And our last story in sci-fi news today is Deadline is reporting that Warner Brothers has set David Goyer and Justin Rhodes to pen the script for the upcoming Green Lantern Corps movie, which is being described as Lethal Weapon in space. The studio is said to be moving ahead with the project aggressively and have brought in DC's head honcho Jeff Johns and John Berg to act as executive producers. Furthermore, we're hearing that it will be a comic book origin story with focus on both Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. No word yet on if Warner Brothers will look to Ryan Reynolds to reprise his role as Jordan, but it seems very unlikely at this stage, especially given the actor's commitment to the Deadpool franchise. As for Stewart, several actors have been vocal about playing the part in the past, but for now the studio hasn't commented on who they have their eye on. Now, I've heard a rumor, but I'm not going to talk about it yet because it's so small and I don't want to get out there. But let's just say the guy might be from Edmonton and he might already be cast in a Guardians of the Galaxy movie that's coming up soon. And I'm just going to leave it from that. And that is it for the weekly show number 32. My name is Mike. If you want to send me an email, I will read them on the show. My email is movieguysci-fi@gmail.com, or you can follow me on Twitter @movieguysci-fi. And remember, everybody, nerds rule the world.